Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be posting a video that's a little bit different than the usual Nuzlocke videos. So um, I'm into Nuzlocke challenges and I really like the Pokemon main series games, but I'm mainly into competitive Pokemon battling and the Smogon formats. So I don't really play the VGC, which is the official format for Pokemon competitive gameplay. Uh, but I play Smogon singles a lot, and I've joined a draft league for the first time this summer, and I got to the semifinals. So I would like to recount all my matches and show you how I did in this league. So let me just check which is my, well, let me start with the drafting. So here you can see my Pokemon. I got Landorus, Tangrowth, Mienshao, Quagsire, Pidgeot, Umbreon, Araquanid, and then I got Florges at first, but I realized I really didn't need Florges that much, so I changed it to Snorlax. And then I had also gotten Ludicolo from the tier 4, and since that was only to counter on the apps team, I really didn't need it that much, so I changed it to Electros, which I think is a better Pokemon overall. And my idea was, let me show you. My idea was I was trying to emulate this team I used to use in Gen 7, which is this team. So I was trying to emulate this team, kinda, sorta. So my special attacker is going to be like Pidgeot, and my physical attacker is going to be Mienshao. And I obviously couldn't get both Heatran, Tangrowth, and Landorus, so I just got Landorus and Tangrowth, and I also picked up Cinderace. Sorry, Mienshao was replacing Kartana, and Cinderace was replacing Greninja for coverage, and since it has Protein. And then Mienshao was a physical sweeper that's fast and that hits hard. So that was my thought process while building this team. And I was able to get to the semifinals. I actually finished the power rankings from the divisions stage 7th. So yeah, here you can see I was here because I finished the power rankings at 7th. I was allowed to progress from the first round without having to battle anyone. But without further ado, I'll just show you guys my matches and how they played out. So my first match was against this person, Tropic, but Tropic ended up dropping out of the tournament. I don't know the reason, but this is going to be a win for me, as I recall. So these matches aren't really that fresh in my memory, so I will be remembering how they went as I go. So his team is actually very strong, and it's kind of like a Stoli team. If you look at it, he has like Gliscor, Alomomola, Klefki, Heatran, so he has a lot of walls. But I think my Quagsire is going to put in a lot of work here. This Klefki was like very troublesome for me to deal with. But thankfully a lot of Pokemon I have here have access to Earthquake, because I do know that he will bring a Heatran. And Klefki is actually putting in a lot of work with the screens. And let me just take this to fast mode because it flows really slow. So here I let a lot of my mons get poisoned, which is kind of bad for me. But at this point I think he's going to try to use screens again. Oh, he tries to Thunder Wave me, but I'm able to avoid it thanks to the Toxic. And here I end up hurting his mons quite a lot. Now his screens are actually putting in a lot of work, but thankfully I'm able to pivot a lot thanks to Tangroth's regenerator ability, and also thanks to U-turn on 3 of my mons, which are Landorus, Pidgeot, and Cinderace, and I also have U-turn on Mienshao. As you can see, I really like Volt turn kind of teams that have like both offensive and bulky pivots into mons. So here he couldn't put up Reflect, so this Alomomola is going to get hurt a lot, and I predict the Protect, so I don't go for the high jump kick there. Also, this was like my first time experimenting with Cinderace, so I went with Life Orb. I don't know if it's really optimal, but yeah. So here I was able to land a Toxic to this Sigilyph, but it has Wonder Guard or Magic Guard, I don't remember the exact name. And I think this Tangrowth is Assault Vest. So here I lower this Dragonite's attack and force it to switch out. And it does get a bit stally with his Alomomola because he always wish passes, but at this point, as you can see, he only has 5 wishes left, so I assume he's kind of like scared, and he goes for Fly right here, but this turn gives me a free Earthquake, so I end up KOing that Klefki, which was the main problem I had with countering his team, since I really couldn't hurt the mons behind the screen much. Now here I switch to Quagsire against his Heatran, and I predict a double from him, and I Toxic and I catch the Dragonite, which is great. And he does try to dance on me and set up on me, but thankfully Quagsire has Unaware, so it's not much of an issue for me. And at that point I can just play however I want, since he doesn't have much to counter me at this point. His Dragonite is going to die to poison. I have like 1, 2, 3 mons that hit super effective against this Heatran. That Magma Storm could have hurt, and 2 hits would have killed my Quagsire, but really at that point that wasn't an issue for me, because he doesn't have any sweepers left at this point, and he only has 4 wishes on his love disc, but he can't really afford to click that wish and pass to Dragonite, because Dragonite will die to whatever attack I use. So yeah, this match was kind of stolly. I didn't really have a lot to hurt his mons with. And also, since this is my first match, I try and play it kind of safe. But yeah, this match will end with Loveless getting KO'd there, and I get a 5-0 win. And the kill death average matters because as you can see, I have the same win-lose amount as Orlando Miss Maggie's here, but what puts me above him is my kill death average, which is like a lot. So yeah, this was the first match I played. So the second match I had was against AceofSpades, which he was the favorite of the tournament, and he's like a really good player. Just let me check first if this is our first match, because we did face off against each other again in the near the finals. Yeah, this is my second match because there's Snorlax. In the first match I didn't have Snorlax with me. So here, let me get it to fast mode. Here, Ace's team is actually very strong against mine. Because I really don't have any switch-ins to Weavile. And this was my game plan all along, switching in Rotom and like getting at least 2 kills with it, but it ends up not working because he gets the crit plus the special attack drop. And also he's running an Assault Vest Raikou, so that's also kind of hard for me to deal with, because Pidgeot is actually a very strong mon against this team. He doesn't have any switch-ins beside that Raikou, but I failed to weaken that Raikou by a meaningful amount, so I end up like losing this match. But I do believe that I played fairly well, considering I didn't know what to expect. And here, after he poisons that Pidgeot, I think he's feeling like very confident about his win. So here I do try to set up webs and then go for toxic, predicting his defog. And I do have an assault vest Tangrowth. But his hippo is physically defensive, so he can't really, I can't really do much to it with Mienshao, and at this point it doesn't matter much if I KO his Tapu Fini or anything, because as I said before, I don't have any switch-ins to Weavile, and he gets a kill pretty much every time he switches in his Weavile. And also his Infernape is scarfed, so I don't really get to revenge kill it with anything at that point. And here he gets to sweep with his, I think his Raikou kills my Pidgeot, and oh yeah, poison actually kills my Pidgeot, I guess. And his Hippo will be able to KO my Mienshao fairly easily because I get this defense drop. So this match was kind of sad for me. I didn't expect this to be an easy win, but yeah, here he will Earthquake and KO me, and that's that. So let me just close the tabs to make everything easier. So this is my third match, and I think this Ashzay has a Mega Sableye, which is pretty strong, and he also has like a Scarfed Fighting Mon, and he manages to get the Defiant in the first turn, and he brings Grass type Silvally, which is kind of problematic for me because Silvally is like a setup mon with Swords Dance, and my Quagsire is supposed to wall it, but it ends up not being the case, and also he magic bounces my rocks, so yeah, I end up not having an option there, and that crit right there against my Landorus really hurts me. Sadly, this crit is not as meaningful because I have to click Pyro Ball there to make any progress at that point, but he can just pivot Suicune right there. So this match, like most of my prior matches, I get my mons poisoned a lot, and that's going to be very problematic for me in the long run. So that's why I will be drafting, you know, Snorlax, which is immune to poison, and I'm going to try to play a bit more carefully against poison at that point. And this Earthquake not knocking out Sableye is very sad for me, and I also didn't know that I was faster than him, so I clicked recover. Even if I did know, I had to heal up Quagsire at that point because frankly I couldn't have lived without the game without Quagsire having his HP on full. So here I try to confuse him, and it works out for me pretty fine. But this is a specially defensive Suicune, and as you can see, I'm not able to kill it right here, and it KOs me back with a Scald. So this match, I think he was pretty lucky, and here my only play is to try and get this Sableye poisoned somehow, but even that won't be helping me a lot since it's not badly poisoned, and he's not really on a timer as he has access to um, recover. So I end up being able to make a few good predictions there, but the Silvally is a mon that I don't really have an answer to. Here my Cinderace will die. And after this match, I think I will be going with heavy duty boots Cinderace a lot more often, because um, Life Orb is good, but the extra damage doesn't really provide me with that much of an advantage against a lot of these teams people have. So yeah, this is the second match I lose, and because of that, on the third match I'm kind of like frustrated, and I will be bringing a stall team, and I think this stall is not very strong, looking at the ladder, but um, against this team specifically, he only had Staraptor to break my walls with. And I think the Staraptor was scarfed and the Victini was banded. So that's huge for me because I have walls that can wall Victini, but when it comes to Staraptor, because of his coverage with Brave Bird, Double Edge, Close Combat, and I don't know, U-Turn or whatever, I think that's a really hard mon for me to wall. And I'm going to be playing this in the hyper fast mode because um, this is a very stally match where I only use Toxic and Will-O-Wisp and stuff like that. And here I catch the Zeraora with a burn, and that's pretty much when I win the match. So yeah. The only mistake I made in this match is that I could have pivoted to Registeel a lot more often, and I could have clicked Protect with Registeel a lot more often, because he has 3 choiced mons in Staraptor, Victini, and Kyurem. Kyurem is most probably Scarfed, because he's not doing much damage with his Draco Meteors to either my Rotom or my Umbreon. Um, and he does have natural cure on his Shaman, but that ends up not mattering all that much, as in the first few turns I was able to status a lot of his mons. Now this was the only critical moment for me in that match, where he could have KO'd my Quagsire with his Staraptor, and then he could have gotten a lot of kills with that Staraptor. So here he also ends up toxicking me, but Umbreon has Heal Bell, and I don't run out of PP, and I am able to consistently pivot and keep up with his team in that sense. So yeah, I don't always use Heal Bell right away, because as you know, it's a move that has kind of low PP. But yeah, I think I will be knocking out either Victini or Zeraora shortly. And I run a lot of Scarfed Lando, but here I will be using, I am using a Rocky Helmet Landris. Uh, and here Jam says Loki don't even want to play anymore. Um, After this, he said that he didn't really like stall at all. But yeah, I was able to kill Mantine first, and then I will be KOing either Victini or Zeraora at this point. Yeah, Zeraora dies, and then Victini dies. And his last two mons are going to be his Kyurem and his Shaman. And none of them pose a lot of threat because my Umbreon and Registeel both completely wall these mons. Now he can go for like a PP stall match against both of them using his Shaman, but he will run out of PP far faster than I will, because he only has one mon right here. He can go for rest, but yeah, Seed Flare only has 8 PP, and my Registeel is like ready to take on that kind of a challenge. So yeah, here I come back with playing a stall team, and I really like this team. I really like Registeel on UU stall teams. I think it's a really great mon. Huge defenses, and I also really like Umbreon because of its cleric abilities with Wish and Heal Bell. And also, it's a mon that's hard to toxic because of Synchronize. So I think it's a great Pokemon overall. Yeah, and moving on to my, I guess, which match am I on? Oh, moving on to my last match, it's against On the App, and this is going to be a fairly easy one for me. He does bring a Rain team, and that Toxapex actually is kind of problematic, but he doesn't really have an answer to a lot of things I have here. So I don't think that Politoed is specs, because that Weather Ball literally does nothing to me. And I think here he will go for Drill Run. Yeah, I bring a similar kind of like a Stolly team, but it's more focused on bulky offense, as I have more coverage attacking moves in this team compared to the last team I brought, and I also have Araquanid to possibly support me with Sticky Web. I'm trying to use the strategy I used against Ace in this match, and set up webs with Araquanid, and then go for I don't know, go for a Rotom Sweep maybe. And also I think my Landris is scarfed in this match rather than being Rocky Helmet. But yeah, here he also he again tries to go for the Drill Run, and I just pivot my Tangrowth and he dies. So at this point he doesn't have defensive or bulky pivots, so I get to KO his Swampert with one shot, and after that I don't think he's even trying at this point, because he will keep on clicking that Weather Ball against my Registeel. I think he felt this team of mine was a lot more stolly than it actually is. I get that he's kind of frustrated right here, but yeah, I think I made a great team, and I think this was a good win for me. So here
That's kind of like an ass move from me saying GG when he had 3 Pokemon. But okay.
Here I will wait for an opportunity to wish pass to Rotom, and I will be clicking Nasty Plot and clicking Thunderbolt to kill the Toxapex. And here I will click Blizzard, I think, uh, and I will miss, which is great. Um, but it doesn't really matter, and I do try to go for the 6-0, just because, as I mentioned before, the average matters a lot to decide if I will be skipping round one in the playoffs or if I have to play the round one. So this was the league stage, the divisions, and as I showed before, I ended up with a 3-win, 2-loss standing with positive 11 kill death score, which is I think great. As you can see, this is Ace, who got out of the division like with 5 wins, which is amazing. I think Ace is really a great player. And here you can see the other teams. Where is the standing? Yeah. So here, this is, I think, what was his name? Let me just go to the power rankings. So yeah, here we stand an Ace and Luke both get out of their leagues 5-0, which is undefeated. And then Domtom, BL Pound, and killerjay both finish with a score of 4-1, which is also great. And me and Unova, we finish 7th and 8th with the same score, but my kill death average is a bit higher than his. So here I will be facing the winner of this game, which is going to be Curious. And Curious just changed this whole team before the tournament started, before the playoffs started. So he actually had a great showing of his team. Let me just show you the match. So he went against this team with his Trick Room team, and it ended up working out great for him. So as you can see, he can just go for any of his mons and like set up Trick Room and proceed to sweep with any of his mons. As you can see, this Necrozma here just sweeps through all of the opposing team with just the weakness policy setup. So I was kind of scared for facing this team, but I ended up coming up with a really good team against that. I'm actually very proud of myself. So let me show you that team I built. So here's the enemy team, and where's my team? I think this is the one I went with. So the highlight of this team, the highlights are my Assault Vest min speed Electros, which I really like. It's primarily a special attacker, but it also doesn't have a minus attack nature to make that knockoff as strong as possible. Because I can't hit that Marowak with Giga Drain or Flamethrower, And Volt Switch is always risky, since the Marowak may or may not have Lightning Rod. And my favorite set is this Cinderace, which is primarily for taking care of um, Slowbro, but also my Cinderace doesn't need any speed investment in this game, as with no speed investment, Cinderace still outspeeds every Mon outside of Trick Room, and he won't be slower than any of them, even with a minus speed nature. So I end up investing in attack and special attack for this Cinderace with the addition of Electro Ball. So let me just show you the match. I really enjoyed this match. So here I go for substitute against Jumpa, and I see that he locked himself into Flamethrower because I assume that's his set. And then I get to lower the attack of this Mawile, and here he will be able to set up his Trick Room. Right? Oh no, here I one-hit KO the Slowbro, which was the turning point of the match, I think. I think he didn't expect that at all. So here I'm able to knock off his Thick Club, and thanks to that I survived +2 Flare Blitz, which is great. And Electros is slower than all of his Mons except for Necrozma, and what was this Mon? Stakataka. So yeah, I'm able to just use Electros inside of Trick Room, and that allows me to have an advantage even on his field. So here you see I KO the Necrozma in Trick Room with my Electros, and here I will just stall some turns of his Trick Room. It doesn't really matter what I do or what he does at this point, because I can just proceed to switch in my Cinderace at this point. And Cinderace has Wide Lance, as you saw before, so this High Jump Kick and Pyro Ball don't really have that bad of an accuracy. They're already 90% accurate moves, and with White Lance I think they're 99% accurate or something like that. So what I had to do was just land these hits, and I did have enough damage thanks to my Adamant nature to KO anything I hit super effectively with, since it's also stab plus Adamant nature plus very high base powers for these moves, and I was able to win that match fairly easily, I'd say. And here I will be facing off against Ace for the second time, and luckily for me he will be bringing the exact same team, which I think is great, but I think he should not have gone for the Scarf Infernape here, as mixed special Infernape was very strong against my team, as I have tested with Killerjay prior to this match. And shout out to Killerjays, he's like been really helpful to me during all this tournament, and also shout out to Ace and Killerjay for organizing such a great tournament. It was my first draft league, and I had a lot of fun, and I got to learn a lot of new ways to play Pokemon, and I got to experiment with a lot of new Pokemon. For example, Cinderace was not a mon I had used prior to this, as I don't have a Nintendo Switch. But moving on to the match, he points out that I didn't bring my Rotom Frost. So this match starts very similar, I guess. But thanks to my Snorlax, which has thick skin, I'm able to uh, live a lot of his Infernapes and Weavile's stab attacks in fire and ice. And I also won't be having as much trouble against his Raikou or Infernape, because, like, as you can see here, my Tangrowth has both Sleep Powder and it has Stun Powder. At different points in the match, I think I will be missing one of my hits with Sleep Powder, and the Snorlax is adamant and choice banded, so that Double Edge did KO the Gastrodon there. That was also one of my secret techs, I guess. But yeah, I know for a fact that I can stand a hit from the Weavile there, so I stay in, and I think here he will go for a taunt, yes. And I can't wish after taunt, obviously. But I just proceed to weaken this Tapu Fini. And I do have Gong Shot here, which I think I do go for. Yeah, this match plays out very similarly to the first one. But I am both more well prepared for it, and also, to be clear, so just a second, let me pause. Here, this crit didn't matter because of my choice band plus the adamant nature plus double edge instead of return. And I do think Ace is having a much harder time against this team compared to the previous one. But yeah, continuing on, here I click Power Whip. I should have clicked Brick Break because it was an obvious bait, and I do know he's banded at that point, so I switch my Landorus in to U-turn, and this time I'm just going to go for one Hurricane here to make the Raikou stay in, and then I'm going to be switching in Tangrowth again to click Power Whip once more. And here goes the Tapu Fini, which allows my Mon to be able to set status on his Mons. Here I do go for the Earthquake and weaken the Hippo. I think he slacks off here, which is, I think, the correct play. And I managed to Toxic this Hippo with Synchronize, and I will be able to heal up my Tangrowth here. And thankfully he misses the Toxic, so here I think I will try to Paralyze, or I think that was way before, but here I end up secking my Pidgeot just to click Earthquake with my Scarf Landorus. And I do know for a fact that this Infernape is also Scarfed. So here he will hit me with Flare Blitz, and thankfully because of his Flare Blitz recoil and also my Rocky Helmet, he will end up dying to my Brick Break attack. And because I don't have Earthquake on this Tangrowth. And finally here he ends up missing the Icicle Crash with his Weavile, which is kinda very bad. Yeah, here I say stance for missing meant a lot. And I never expected him to miss that icicle crash. Actually, I thought I had lost there, but yeah, I think Ace was very sad about this. But what can I say? I was glad that he missed that. And here is the semifinals match I play with killerjays, who was one of the organizers of the tournament, alongside Ace, and he's also a great player, as I said. Looking at his team, I don't think I have answers to anything he has actually, because unlike Ace, he has a bulkier team with very strong wall breakers, such as Banded Weavile, which can also be used to revenge kill anything that's not scarfed, and also I think Banded Surfetched, which has a mad attack stat. So I do my best here. I try to weaken that Rotom with poison, stalling it a bit. I think this Vaporeon does have heal belt, yeah. So this match for me is pretty hopeless, even from the start. And he doesn't give me any opportunities to really make strong plays. Yeah, this was a sad match for me, I'd say. I do end up, I think, getting a few kills, but in the end, he will be left with his Mandibuzz and Surfetched. I'm not really sure at that point. But yeah. I also think that killerjays played this game a lot safer than he had to, but I can see why, since this is the semifinals of the tournament he organized himself, and he wants this to be like a sure win. But regardless of how he plays, as I said, I don't really have a lot of options against this team specifically. As you can see, like he has answers to all my mons here. Anything I try to switch in, he just has like the perfect counter to it. So yeah, I will be like switching in and out, trying to do something, but because of Scary, I don't even get the attack drop on Surfetched. This was actually a very sad match for me, I'm not gonna lie, because as you can see here, I have nothing to touch his Pokemon with. He just pivots in Rotom whenever I have my Pidgeot out. This Weezing walls pretty much all my sweepers. I don't have Iron Head on this Registeel, and even if I had, I'm just burned throughout the match, so yeah, he will just pivot endlessly. Also, I feel I should have gone with Modest Pidgeot here, because Modest Pidgeot really did have to have the opportunity to kill anything with strong attacks, and didn't have a switch in his team. other than that Rotom, which I did manage to lower, and also nothing outsped it, like Weavile did, but Weavile outspeed even the jolly, timid nature Pidgeot. So yeah, as you can see, this is like a very hopeless match for me, and I do end up KOing this Bronzong, this Weezing, I think, at one point, but yeah, yeah. Just let me go to the turn I KO the Weezing, I guess, so you can see it. Yeah, this is the turn I will be KOing the Weezing, but still it's not really meaningful, as even though I get to KO this Weavile here, I don't have any answers to his Mandibuzz at this point, because he can just go for Roost, and I will be running out of close combat PPs anyway in a few turns, so he doesn't have much to worry about. Yeah, I think he will make me run out of PPs here. He could just have gone for foul play at one point. That would be an easy win for him. Yeah, but he ends up winning with first impression, Surfetched. Yeah, as I said, I think he could have won quicker. I did play okay, I guess, but in the end it worked out better for him, and then he ends up losing to Endgame in the finals. As I said, this was my first draft league, and currently I'm in another draft league called Pokemon Generations League. Shoutouts to Meme, he's a great organizer, and thanks to everyone who played in the league. I had a great time, and thanks to everyone who watched the video. I had a great time recording too, and I hope you like it. And if you did, please subscribe to my channel, and please leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you think of my strategies, and what other mons would you have drafted. I think my team was pretty okay compared to the other teams, as I had Landorus, Tangrowth, and Cinderace, which are very versatile mons. Tangrowth can use Assault Vest and such. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and I guess I'll be seeing you in another video, because I'm going to be moving this month or the next month. I won't be starting a new Nuzlocke run, but when I do, I will be continuing to post on my channel. So see you, everyone. Bye.